Hi, I'm really excited about today. A few weeks ago, I inherited a hive from my son. So I drove it all the way from Noosa in Queensland to Sydney and set it up in my backyard. The bees, after about 10-11 hour drive, were a little bit upset. They were a little bit agitated, so I let them calm down for a few weeks. And today I will be inspecting my hive for the first time. The hive I got is a flow hive, but it's not a normal flow hive, it's a hybrid type. So it means it has 3 flow frames, and also in addition to this it has 4 conventional wooden frames. I'm going to open up the super. I'm going to have a look at the condition of those frames, see what's happening there, see at the combs, see at the honey, whether there is anything to be harvested. This is my first time ever. I'm not experienced. I'm new to beekeeping, so we'll see how it goes. But if there is any honey to be harvested, I will do it. Otherwise, I will leave the honey there if there's not enough. And if I have enough time and perseverance, I'll also have a look at the brood box to see what's happening there. Is there any activity, any signs of activity of the queen? Are there any larvae? Are there any eggs? So here we go. Today is the day. Okay, I'm now fully prepared. I probably have more stuff than I need. I've got some frames with the foundation in case I need to harvest some honey and take some of those frames out. I have a bucket, well, or a container with a lid here under the head, with a lid for storing those frames with honey, if there are any, in such a way that the bees won't get into them. I have my protective equipment, safety first, obviously. I have the key to open up the flow frames if I need to. I've got a brush, tools. I've got more than I really need. I'm sure I won't use even half of them. This, some kind of stuff for presumably lifting the frames. I don't know whether I need it. Why wouldn't you do it with the gloves? And I even have a queen marking pen, just in case. I'm sure I won't be able to spot the queen, but just in case. Even if I'm mistaken, it's better to have 5 bees which are marked than 1 bee that is not. This is the little window to the hive, which you can undo the thing. Okay, you can't undo this one, that's a shame. Oh, okay, I can pull this one out, and this is what's happening. You can see there is some comb here that the bees have made on the glass or perspex or whatever it is, but you can see here, beautiful comb. Well, I think it's beautiful. For me it is. Beautiful comb, capped pretty much fully. And from what I read in the very wise books to do with the beekeeping and the hives, is that the bees start putting honey in the middle frames and then they go out. So if this frame on the outside is full of honey, then I've got really good hopes that maybe all of them are full of honey. Okay, now we are talking. I think we are ready. We've got the smoke. Kind of. Hopefully it's okay. It seems to be cold already. It's not hot, so hopefully it's fine. Unfortunately, when I open up, I won't be able to do a lot with the camera because I don't have a cameraman or a woman for the fact. My wife chickened out, she doesn't want to be bitten, so it's all up to me. Okay, let's get started. probably fair to say that it turned out to be a little bit of a disaster. Seems the hive has not been opened or inspected for quite some time. It looks like my son didn't quite do that. I'm not quite sure actually whether he did or whether he didn't or how frequently he did it, but it is what it is. The frames were so stuck with some various combs around the frames. They were so stuck together, and they were so stuck to the honey box, that they just couldn't get lifted or moved without damaging. They just fell apart. So the bees weren't crazy. They really went crazy. I got stung a few times. I feel something here, but I got stung multiple times on my forehead, my head, my arms, my legs. Good news is I'm not allergic. So that's a good news. Oh, there's another one somewhere here. Anyway, oh, here it is. The frames got damaged. I actually had to rip them apart to get them out. So the honey kept flowing to the brood box. I'm hoping the bees will eventually clean it all out. They should. But I did not end up extracting any honey from the flow frames. All I did is clean the normal frames after they broke apart, clean them out, take them out, put the new frames in, and hopefully give them a little bit more space to actually get the honey in. I did not end up opening the brood box, so I have no idea what's happening there. The brood box was actually, well, not the brood box, but the queen excluder was covered with honey that was flowing out of the super above. So yeah, there was no way to do it in any clean way. I will need to do it again. I will need to open up again, obviously next time in probably a couple of weeks' time. Okay, as you can see, this is my hive now. This is my hive. I still need to clean the deck. There is a fair bit of honey on the deck and under the hive, which, if not cleaned, will attract unwanted creatures, ants, you know, and other stuff, and we don't really want to advertise to any other creatures that may inhabit this beautiful forest at the back of our property. We don't want to alert them to the fact that we've got a lot of sweet honey that they could use. So I'll give the bees a little bit more time to collect themselves from the deck, because I don't know if you can see from this distance, but where the honey is on the deck, there are quite a few bees. Some of them are dead, some of them are kind of semi-dead, some of them are crawling. I'll let them collect themselves, you know, those that can, and get back to the hive before I actually wash the honey out, wash the honey away from the deck. And here are the spoils of the war. Well, shouldn't say the war, because the bees are really my friend, not my enemy, but the spoils of today's adventure. This is the remnants of the comb that they have created on those frames that I couldn't recover. So here we are. There is a fair bit of honey in the tray. There is also a lot of wax. I'm going to press it now and see what I can recover. That's one container. This is the second one, and this one is a very small one. That's where I put separately, for some reason, the bits and pieces of comb that were stuck on the lid and on the walls of the hive. They were not part of the comb within the frames. So now this is the third one. This is the tray I put my honey box, the super, on top of it when I noticed that the honey is just flowing out of it like hell. As you can see, there is a lot of bees drowning here. Nothing I can do to help them, but I'm going to at least recover some honey. I'm going to use the press, wine press or grape press that I have for making wines, but I'm not going to press the honey because I really don't want to eat bees. I'm just going to put the honeycomb with the honey and with the bees, unfortunately, whatever bees are remaining on the honey, into the press and let it drain by itself and recover some honey. Probably will be a longish process. I expect probably a good few hours before, if not more, before most of the honey drains, but see how we go. It's the next day right now. The bees have settled a little bit, or at least it looks like. They don't mind me so much anymore. They seem to be going around their own business, and yes, whilst there are some bees still externally where the front window is, that probably is not very clearly seen, most of the bees are back in the hive, so I'm going to give them a few weeks and we'll open the hive again. So to sum up the entire experience from yesterday, I think it was pretty much a disaster. I can't find another term for this, but I really don't know. I'm just too inexperienced to know, but I really don't know what else I could do to minimize the damage. As soon as those frames started falling apart and the honey started flowing onto the queen excluder and below into the brood box, I had to do something about it. I had to clean those 4 broken frames, take out whatever I could take out. I'll give it another 3 weeks or so, and I'm going, maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I'm going to open up the hive again, check whether the bees are working on the comb and honey collection for the new frames. Hopefully there will be some progress there, because there's nowhere else they can actually store the honey at the moment. I left the 3 flow frames intact. I haven't harvested any honey from those frames, so the only place they've got at the moment is those 4 new frames I put in. And if they keep working fast on those 4 frames, I may decide in 3 weeks time to put another super on top with new frames. From all this disaster I collected about 4 liters of honey, 2 jars. Each one of them is 2-liter capacity jars, so I've got 4 liters of honey, which is about 6 kilos, I guess. So that's it. I'll try to keep record of the next hive inspection as well. So hopefully you will see me in about a few weeks.